So with this hole in the wall spot, right? Was you doing stuff in the back room?
So this is so crazy. So the first the first strip club, that was the first one I worked at. I was so shy when I think back to my first dance. So one of my clients, or what did I say, client? Customers, he still came in afterwards, and just for the fact he got my first dance ever, and he knew I was fresh, right? He knew it.
So he took advantage of you?
He kept me over there all night. He was a nice man. I still talk to him to this day online, just keep in touch, you know?
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
But he was like, he kept me over there. I was making like $500 or $600 just in a couple hours just dancing.
He's like $600.
And this was
a lot of money back then.
It was then, but it's like, mind you, coming from making nothing or not, like this is my first time dancing. So that's just $600. That's just one guy.
You made it. But
he's like, dude, reach around and squeeze it. And I'm like, no.
Reach around and squeeze what?
What do you think? Like, he's like, squeeze it. I'm like, no. I was like, oh my God, no. Like, I can't do that.
I'm going to get in trouble.
And you fast forward to like 2 years later, I'm like,
shoot, that became like your staple. That became your staple. You want me to squeeze it?
Well, then you squeeze just kind of get into like you get into a mode of how you learn how to dance and you learn how to maneuver and finesse money, and it's like that reach around is nothing because they're throwing hundreds of dollars at the time just to even do. Reach around. I never did or suck in VIP. Sorry if do I need to not cuss?
No, hell no. We can say what we want to say. We can bleep it out.
In the club, the thing about Atlanta, I can't say for now, but then was like, it's strictly dancing. Whatever you did outside is outside, but it was dancing. And,
so you mean to tell me all of these times, look at me in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You ain't never, I will reenact on this microphone, but I want this thing
definitely did
and I ain't that way.
I definitely did some sack checks, but I never.
Wait a minute, hold on, back up. What's that?
You don't know what a sack check is?
No.
That's where, when they're not paying attention, when they're, whatever, you're not paying attention, right? You
who not paying attention? The customer
isn't paying attention, and then you grab their so you can see, like, if it's big or if they're packing or, like, even.
But you call it a sack check?
Sack check. Mm-hmm. I want to, like, it's a grab. and it really is, like, now. Yeah. But then I didn't care. I didn't really think about it.
You go in a strip club and you got to put gloves on,
but
handcuffs,
then it was a whole thing. And I've actually only had one guy get offended by it, but he was just, like, not,
he wasn't. Oh, don't you expose my size. I'm a grower.
And that's fine too. They might not all be just hanging.
Hey, and we're going to get to that because you know what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, never did anything in VIP. I saved that for exclusive shit.
Oh, okay. And we family. This is my podcast. The exclusive shit. Exclusive shit. If you know, you know. But we'll just leave it at that. So when you got into the industry, like, how did somebody see you twerking? Somebody saw you slurping and burping and said, hey, you should do what these girls do in the videos. Like, how did that come about?
It actually didn't come from, like, I was a dancer in Atlanta and then I went to Miami, and I actually had got this girl from North Carolina a job at Follies, and she started dancing. So she had went down to Florida and signed with Alternative Modeling and started that. And she had called me and she's like, I have a great job for you. She's like,
pause. You guys don't understand how many baddies came out of Florida. And I'm a firm believer now, and it took me, I'm 44, 20 years, 20, carried it to 17 years to finally say, Miami got us beat, y'all. Like, we in LA. See it in the background. Miami got us beat. Continue.
Yes. So she called me and she's like, I have the best. She's like, I have a job for you. You'd be great at it. And she didn't tell me what it was at first. She said it was modeling. So I'm like, I told my mom I was going to go model. And she's like, oh, she gave you that look? She looked at me. She's like, please be safe, So your mom knew that you was dancing? I didn't. Yeah, she knew I was a dancer, but she didn't know.
She didn't know you was doing a sack check. Did I say it right? Sack check?
No. But, like, I took care of my mom in the best way that I could then, so she didn't say much, and I wasn't, like, strung out on drugs and stuff. I came home drunk as shit a few times, but other than that, it's like,
but you're young, and she, I'm sure she
it wasn't the ideal job that my mom, any parent wants for their child, But ultimately it became the start of where I'm at now. So I went down to Florida. It was really like Davie, Florida. It was right outside of Miami, and I went to this model house, and that's when we had model houses, you know. And they
don't have that anymore. No. I miss those days. Come to the model house. I gotta sneak in. Want me to go around the back?
So you go in and like we go on go-sees. It was like really like a whole thing then. So we go in, we take our pictures.
I had a go-see just last week, and it brought back so many. Have those? We requested, and I did it at the shop.
Get naked
at the shop. At the shop, yeah. I'm like, oh,
I would have been like,
God.
I want that. Okay,
oh, we hooked her up. She got a happy package.
See, I didn't get go-sees in the shop.
Hold on. No,
I got go-sees in a
hold on. We'll
office.
get there. We'll get there when we start talking about
yeah
products. But continue.
But anyways, so we did like I went to and I signed with Alternative Modeling too. Then and this is when BangBros. This is like a big deal. So BangBros was the first internet website. That was it, and I literally did the
predominantly out in Florida anyway.
Yeah, that's where it started. Obviously now things moved, but BangBros and Reality Kings were the first internet website, and I did Ass Parade, which was one of BangBros' first big ass sites. So it was huge. I was like, I'm gonna do a couple scenes, make some money. Nobody's gonna know. That went. That was viral before viral was viral. And when
because it was so taboo then.
Yes, and I had so much. It just wasn't really looked upon positive to be a then. So even though it might have been cool, it was not cool. So I got so much backlash from
you can all like your hometown, all your ex-boyfriends and
black guys on camera. Do you see what she's doing? Like it was worse than the dancer backlash, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, a lot of people are like, I knew it. You know, she's gonna be
the way she sucked.
She's gonna be a stripper and fuck black guys.
I mean. But in high school, was that like your thing? Like you always dated black guys, like even in high school. I dated
black guys, but I was over sexualized before. I was still a virgin when everybody thought I wasn't. So and I ran with it because.
So you was just a sloppy toppy type girl?
No, I really was like I didn't.
So you were like me. You were like a kisser because I was a kisser in high school.
Yeah, I like to. I'm a sensual person, you know. So I love that shit. So, but can still, you know. I'm still a freak, but I love sensual shit. But
ain't nothing wrong with
that. Being young, obviously, like, no, I didn't do all that. But I definitely, people thought that I was a freak before I even had, you know? So I just went with it. I rolled with it.
And you know what? Most people don't. They fall back. And it's hard for people to just roll with it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like
and back then, I'm not trying to age you or nothing like that. But back then, everything was still taboo.
Yeah.
Now, I was already in the industry for some time before you came in. So it's like to have a chick like you was like, hey, she really about it. Like she's really performing here. Like, So when you go from this monumental scene that was kind of like a staple in your career, you go from Miami to
so our
California.
Agent took us to LA a few months. It was probably like 3 or 4 months later and took us out to LA. And I came out here and shot my first scene. Well, actually, I went behind his back. It was my first interracial scene with Shorty Mac, and I wanted to work with him so bad.
I never met him.
I went on set, and his agent was like, and director at the time was like, I think his name was Thomas, was like, you can come watch on set, come watch, and you know whatever. So he came up to me. He's like, I'll give you $1,000 cash. He's like, you don't got to tell your agent.
And right back then,
and the box cover,
that was good money.
And the box, and it was, and cash too. Like we don't get cash now for scenes.
Check, and you will hope and pray that they would cash. But anyway, continue.
Exactly.
Not saying no names.
I was like a guy, I was smoking weed. I was watching a set. I was like, I'm fucking doing this, you know. So like, I went to.
I'm next.
Yeah, and I went. To, actually, this is wrong. So This was my first trip out to LA. I came out and did scenes for Hustler, did a bunch of stuff. When I came back, I ended up signing with Derek. And that's when I did my first interracial. Because it has to make sense, right? So,
yeah. Because he's a stickler.
He did not want that.
Yeah.
So,
what?
Okay, so fast forward to then. I'm signed to LA Direct. It's the biggest
agency in the industry besides like. So to give you guys an understanding, LA Direct was like up here, like the glamour girls, anything that's popping was up here. And then Spiegler, my opinion, was like right up on there. That was like your nasty girls, the girls that did it all.
Mm-hmm.
all.
And they were really selective back then.
Yeah.
Not everybody could be just signed up.
He had like 10 girls on his roster, like 12 at the most.
And it was a waiting list. And even with Derek, he was very
yeah. We had to have
blonde. He wanted me blonde. He wanted me, a certain way, my nails done a certain way, like everything like that. So, bleach and cut off all my fucking hair because I'm trying to appease a white man's fantasy.
You know why I'm laughing, right? So, me taking these notes, and I always gave you a hard time.
Fuck you.
So, I found out about this late, and it threw me off because I used to go to free ones to look at if people's was trending and all of that stuff, right? And then I seen a picture of you. I said, "Hey, they made a mistake." I said, "This ain't her." I said, "Wait a minute." I'm looking in the computer. I said, I blew it up. I'm like, and then I called you. I'm like, "Hey, I didn't know you was blonde." And then you said some shit. I think you hung up. I'm like,
I went through many hair phases in life trying to appease a certain look. So,
pause.
Fuck off. Can we? Okay. I don't want to talk about this. No.
So I'm going to say this and I'm leave it alone because it was one of the things that's it's borderline. Mm-hmm. Blonde Jada was kind of rough. I was like, ooh, Lord have mercy.
That was the ratchet. The ratchet Jada.
And you know what? So I don't think you've done many podcasts and nobody has ever touched on Blonde Jada. So if y'all out there, don't search that.
Fuck off. If you're a real fan of Jada, you already know the whole phases of Jada.
I could say only one guy. Yes, only one guy would be like, yeah, I just love you.
Just one guy.
You know who that is. You know who that is, right? Your favorite? Well, but he asked a question later that we'll get to. But continue. You're signing with the Derek.
So signed with Derek. It was a big deal. And then I ended up going on set. It was a go-see with Shorty Mac, and I was like, or it wasn't a go-see, but it was just somehow I ended up on set, and I was like, you
probably showed up at the studio or
it was a house,
location.
It was a location, and he was like, oh, and we were smoking, so it was cool, and I just thought he was the coolest shit ever because he was just he was like a Snoop Dogg, But
so how did you? Was there you seen him in a video? Did you hear about him?
I never watched before I got in the industry. I did check out things as I knew what I was getting into. When I signed with Derek, I looked at Jenna Hayes and Christina Rose because they were the dirty girl that I aspired to be. Because I wanted
they were brunette too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could relate to them.
And it was relatable. They were smaller built. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you were never smaller built, not like.
But I was though.
Them.
You know me, so I've always had a bubble butt. But if you look back now, people would say I'm fat now because of how thin I was.
Well, you just got your MILF body, baby.
Yeah, but seeing the evolution,
yeah.
I was small. I was smaller built, but always had a bubble.
When I first shot you, I would say you were a little bit more bubbler than Christina Rose.
Yeah.
But it was in the same.
Yeah,
they kind of compared
her
y'all.
Got paired all the time.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of scenes together. I won my first Avian Award with her.
Correct. So that was kind of hey, this is the new Christina Rose. And it was once she started hearing that, it was